Okay, Alvin.
Sounds of the ad.
In three and in two, one.
Here we
All
go. We're
right,
back
Alvin.
at it. Mortgage
What's
show.
today's date? What's today's date, Alvin? Tell the people.
May 24th. 24. We're not going to let that get to us right now. We're not even going to think about 24, the number 24.
May
Get back to the
24th,
facts.
2024. I mean, I didn't realize that until you said it. It's a big time day, but here we are. We are moving on, moving up. Al, a lot has happened since our last show. People may have been
Mm-hmm.
wondering what's going on. Haven't seen Al in a bit. The mortgage show's been kind of quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell the people what's going on, or do you want me to tell the people what's going on? Because there's
Yeah,
some big stuff
absolutely.
happening.
It's none of your damn business. Stop asking questions. We'll ask the questions around here. How's that?
Oh, that sounds great. Al has recently gone viral. He's a virus.
I don't know about
He
that.
uh,
That's true.
he's a virus, and
Uh-huh.
he's been spreading around the internet like wildfire. So much so that
Yeah.
the corporate fat cats up at headquarters are are cracking down on him and telling him he
Zeroing
needs
in
to
on me.
freaking yeah,
Uh-huh.
telling him he needs to tighten up his descriptions in his Instagram handle because got
Yeah.
what like 50,000 views in a week.
I mean, I think that's a stretch. I think it was more along the lines of like 25,000. But yeah, they're after me. You know, they're always going to crack down on you once you start putting the content out there. If I was getting 20, 30 views, nobody would care, right? Who cares what that guy does? All of a sudden, you start climbing into the tens of thousands. You know, everybody wants to tell you what to do, but that's fine. I'm a man of the people. I'll do what they say. I'll put whatever they want in my description. Just got to pump out more videos. But one of those was from being in the hospital from the birth of my second son. So very excited about that. Yeah, family of four, but family of four. So it's exciting stuff. The butts, you know.
Yeah, golden. I'm sorry, but like I was just like for some reason you say but family of four and I see you like yes that's us, but you're at a Golden Corral.
Probably
you
Fridays. You know, it's Christine
look
loves the
like
Fridays.
you look like the kind of guy that calls Golden Corral to make a reservation.
Yeah, you're really the kind of guy that says "riz" in sentences.
All right. So let's get into the show. I think that's
Yeah.
enough cuteness for one day. Let's get
Mm-hmm.
serious. Let's
Let's
get
get serious. Fired up.
serious business, and we're serious people. So here goes nothing.
Drop some
Al,
knowledge.
first segment of our show, as always, it is
What's your rate?
What's Your Rate is the segment where we talk about interest rates, mortgage rates, the
Mm-hmm.
market, what's going on, what's happening. And it's been a crazy couple weeks. We'll get into the last week. So rates and rate pricing, they've gone up since last week. Now this is off a steep decline, so don't get alarmed. The jump in rates is incremental, and maybe even more of a change in the pricing of rates, more so than the actual interest rate you're qualifying for. And those changes, we're talking eighth of a percent, quarter of a percent. So um, perhaps if you're in the market and you're floating a rate, or you're looking for a house and you're wondering if your rate changed, it probably did, and it probably went up, but not by much. Not so much that it's
Mm-hmm.
going to kill you or move the needle. We're talking a couple $100 in origination, maybe $1,000 in origination change
Mm-hmm.
for your par rate, or perhaps your qualifying rate went from 7.25 to like 7.375. And I don't think
Yeah.
that there's much outward pressure that happened this week that made those movements. I think it's just a more of a natural flow of things.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to have those kind of ebbs and flows, and highest point it's been in 2 weeks, but still, like you said, coming off a pretty sharp decline. So you're going to have these things. You got to ride the waves, right? So, but yesterday's fluctuation actually can be attributed to S&P Global data, which showed U.S. businesses activity expanding at its fastest pace in 2 years. Expansion.
Yeah. I guess you're right about that. I think I think that yesterday's jump and reprice can be attributed to that. Thanks for bringing that up, and I other than that though, the calendar, the economic calendar, like there wasn't much going on this week, so
Yeah.
um, we'll have to keep an eye on things. Recent data, in the last 3 weeks, has suggested inflation is cooling, which makes us all really hopeful. I certainly was hopeful for Fed rate cuts. I'm like, they're coming. Maybe June, July is actually going to happen, but the decision makers over at the Fed, they're not so eager. And in fact, Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller, I swear to God, when this guy's name comes up, it's just him poo-pooing rate cuts. But anyway, he said he wants to see continued softening in data for the next 3 to 5 months
Mm-hmm.
in order to allow them to cut rates at the end of the year. 3 to 5 months, end of year.
Mm-hmm. To consider, right? Not to like 3 to 5 months and we're going to 3 to 5 months and then we'll think about it, right?
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of that's kind of the crazy thing in my mind is that last year they alluded to not much of a time frame. It's just going to happen next year. We're going to see a couple rate cuts next year, and then it was like what a couple months ago it was we just want to see some stronger data to kind of help influence our decision. And now it's like, well, we're
They
going to
got
be
the
3 to 5
data.
months. Yeah, now they're saying, hey, it's going to be 3 to 5 months before we even make a decision, right? Before we even consider making a decision, right? So now they're
So on
putting a
one
time
hand,
frame on it. So don't even ask us any questions for 3 to 5 months. Is
so
what
on
they're
one
saying.
hand, it's yeah. So on one hand, it's like, all right, you're kicking the can down the road. On the other hand, at least maybe we have like a definitive plan. Um, but it's more information than we need to see more. But what happens if we get 3 straight months of this data and then they don't change? So yeah, it's hard to have faith in this because it has
Yeah.
changed 1,000 times over the last 2 years, and it's like they're just throwing salt in our eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. Tumultuous time. Kind of tough to get an idea of what's going on, but hang in there. Hang in there.
Hang in there, indeed. And rates are better today than they were 6 months ago. That's positive.
Yeah,
And you know what?
absolutely.
People, I feel like are like getting over that fact. And if they're not gonna buy, they're not gonna buy, and if they're gonna, they're gonna. So anyway,
Right.
let's jump out of what's your rate. We're gonna jump out
Mm-hmm.
of what's your rate, and we're gonna jump into the next segment.
Frequently asked questions.
Frequently asked questions.
FAQs.
FAQs.
FAQs. So this is
Frequently
this is
asked
a hot
queries.
one.
It's a hot one.
Facts and queries. Facts and
Facts and
queries.
queries. Fantasies and quests.
Man, beat me to it. God bless it.
That's my
So
favorite.
yeah, this
That's
is
my
a good
favorite
one.
one.
This is one we've been getting a lot of, and it's very pertinent. So folks out there that are looking to sell their current home, buy a new home, use the proceeds, right? Sell their house, they're gonna use the money they made from that house to buy another house. Okay, so for those folks out there that bought their starter home in Federal Hill to go out to the bars or go to Canton, right? And now all of a sudden they want to start a family, maybe move to a bigger house in the city, or move to the outskirts, right? Getting out of there in the county, right? For those people. So Ab, why don't you kind of walk us through some of the things that we're gonna need? Where do we start?
First thing you're going to do is you're going to get with the realtor. You're going to nail down, all right, I'm going to sell my house. How much can I expect to net in my pocket after the closing's done?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is more or less your agent's job, right? So once you know that number, you'll know how much you have for a home to buy, right?
Yep.
So
So you stand to clear $200,000. Then you come to us and you say, "Hey, I got this money. I'm selling my house. This is how much cash I have to apply to the next one," and we figure out for you what that means as far as purchasing power, purchase price. What can you qualify for in your next home?
yeah. So you find that home, confirm with us. cash needed to buy the home is equal or less than the amount that you're going to get from that sale. Obviously, in addition to any other funds that you have in the
Yep.
bank.
And then you've got your sale lined up. You've got the house you want to buy. They're both in process. Fast forward 30 days, and you're now lining up closings. You're lining up the closing of your sale with the closing of your buy. You're lining up the transition of the money, and in the background you got movers and stuff going on. But what we can help you handle is planning, lining up, and implementing that plan to go from one
Execution.
closing to the execution. Yep.
So now, obviously, it goes without saying that the closing of your sale, right, selling your house needs to happen first, right? Now that can happen a couple days prior, right, or it can happen with a same day close with the sale in the morning. For example, you're selling your house in the morning and then buying your new house. Closing on the new house later on in the day. So.
And you know, eh, there's many different ways that it happens, and I like the same day close. It seems like it's
Hmm.
just nice and clean. But regardless of the time in between one from another, I highly recommend having your proceeds wired directly from your sale closing to your buy
Hmm.
closing.
Yeah, love that. So after you close on the sale of your home, right? The title company that's handling that transaction, the sale of the home,
Hmm.
right? They're gonna wire your funds to the title company that's handling the purchase of your next home, basically.
Hmm. Yeah, it's it, it's clean and it's easy, and the title companies, that's what they do. It's a huge part of what they do is dispersing funds and receiving and dispersing funds, wires and
Hmm.
whatnot. So it's in safe hands. Um, so let's say that you need 150,000 cash to close on your buy, and you stand to net 200,000 from your sale.
Hmm.
You close at 10 a.m. with title company A, and your closing of your sale happens, and title company A gets the 200,000 from your sale. They'll wire that full 200,000 to your closing, the title company B, who's handling your closing, and so it's just going from one title company to the other.
Right. And then the 150 of that's going to be used towards the home goes towards the closing, and then that extra 50,000 gets sent right back to you. Now, why is it so important? Why do you highly recommend doing it that way?
Well, it's clean, it's easy, it's efficient. It helps you, or it helps the client. But almost more importantly, it avoids things like receiving your net proceeds in a check, depositing that check into your account, verifying it hit your account, moving it from one bank account to another, or writing a check out of that statement. It avoids bank statements, wire receipts, checks, a whole slew of potential stipulations.
Whole slew of them. Whole slew of them. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All we need for proof of the funds is a copy of the settlement statement from the sale of your home. Bingo, bango. You're off and running. Right. You're in your new
Yeah.
home. Okay.
Yeah, you literally, like, throughout the process, you like, if your proceeds are going to cover your cash to close, you don't even need a bank statement in the file.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
just that closing disclosure or settlement statement showing how much you're going to proceed, how much you're going to get, and then that's verification. And then the money shows
Yeah.
up at closing from the sale, and it's like the lenders, great.
Sounds good, right? Nice, clean, crisp, less documentation, which is always a good thing, right? Always one of those things we strive for. So, as much as you might think that we want to ask for everything possible and everything that we wouldn't even need for the loan, we only ask for the things that we absolutely need. So, anytime we have a chance to cut documentation, we will absolutely do it. So,
Yeah.
um, that's the best way to go about it. Love that. Now, quick question. So if you do a same day closing, does this mean that you have to show up like the Beverly Hillbillies in a pickup truck with your all your stuff packed 30 feet in the air? Um, because you just moved out of your one house and now you're about to move into the other house. Is that the way that works?
Yeah, with grandma on a rocking chair stacked on top of your freaking couches and stuff.
All the
Yeah,
way to the
so
top.
I mean, maybe, perhaps the same day close isn't for everybody. If the same day close is going to turn you into the Beverly Hillbillies and you're going to be rushing out of the house, throwing stuff into the back of a pickup truck with, like if it's going to turn you into some kind of caricature of yourself where you're scrambling, maybe the same day close isn't for you. Maybe you need a little extra time. Maybe you need to
Mm-hmm.
do a rent back. Close on a Monday, the following Friday, give yourself, I don't know, 10, 12 days to get your shit together.
Mm-hmm.
If that's you, same day close isn't for you. But if you're proactive and efficient and can manage, scheduling movers and preparing prior for the weeks prior to, the same day close is so efficient. It's the most efficient.
Right.
But I guess it,
But
it
but there are other options for those of us, or for the folks out there that aren't great at scheduling and the logistics of things, right? Who might procrastinate, who might put things off, and it's like, oh my God, we haven't even started packing. We're closing our house tomorrow. We're moving. For the love of God, we're moving, and we haven't packed. Well, then there's always possibilities, right? There's always opportunities to do, to your point, a rent back, give yourself a little extra time. Um, Most of that time you'll probably sit around and procrastinate until you're about to actually have to move out of your house and then pack it up. So,
yeah.
um, you know, always a possibility. Always a possibility.
You have anything else you want to mention this week, Al?
Um, no, I think we're starting to see things pick up a little bit, right? In the industry, it's getting a little bit busier. We talked about people getting comfortable with the rates in the market. Um, you know, and just can't stress enough the folks that are making moves right now are the folks that have come to grips with the fact that if you have the opportunity to buy now, you buy now because values are only going to get higher, right? They're projected another 5% in the next 12 months.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, they've only gone up. They've only gone up. It's a great point. And over and over and over and over, people are like waiting for the dip, waiting for the dip, waiting for the dip. And you know what happens? It just goes like this. And oop, doop,
right.
doop.
Yep.
So like what dip are you waiting for? It goes this way always.
Always.
That's it.
Always.
And then
You know.
people are also like, foreclosure this, foreclosure that, waiting on foreclosures. There's going to be a bunch of foreclosures because in 2008 there were a bunch of foreclosures and people got some deals. But here's why I think that foreclosures aren't going to happen this time. And if you're waiting around on foreclosures, it's a fool's game. People have so much equity, more equity than ever. They have
Mm-hmm.
more equity than ever because the values are going like this. They went like this for a while, and now they're going like this. But regardless, people have tons of equity. People are not going to foreclose on a house that they have tons of equity in. They will sell it for the market value, which is this. They're not going to foreclose. Like, do you agree?
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. Um, and that equity can help bail you out of a sticky situation, especially at a time now when
You're,
right bills might be piling up. Inflation's high. We all know that. Grocery store runs cost more than they ever have. Credit cards are, the amount of credit card debt is higher than it's ever been. But those are the kinds of things that would send somebody into, bankruptcy or foreclosure, right? Catastrophic um, circumstances to their financial situation. But to your point, having access to the equity, right, to be able to do a cash out loan or a second, right, to be able to use that equity to reset their financial situation and get them ahead, at least to hang on for a little while longer. So I think that's a great point. I think the folks that are waiting around for the foreclosures, it's not going to happen. And it's like planting a tree, right? Same thing with buying a house. When was the best time to buy a house? A couple years ago. When's the second best time right now? Right? Because it's only going to keep going up. So,
yeah. And to that note, I do think that we're on the cusp of another COVID moment as far as housing goes. Not that like there's a crisis pending, or we're going to get locked down. What I mean is, if you bought a house in 2019, you saw rapid growth in your value. And I
Rapid.
think
Yeah.
that now, and people are kicking themselves, why didn't I buy in 2019? I think that there's another opportunity right now, and in 4 years, people are going to be like, shoot, why didn't I buy in 2024?
Right.
Um,
Everybody's waiting for things to
yeah.
come back down. Just doesn't make sense.
So
Couldn't agree more. I think that's a great point. I think this is a really good point. So for all the folks out there, again, cannot stress enough. If you have Cart the Dart Yoder.
we're wrapping up our show, Brett. Hey, this is our. Hey, dropping in on the phone here is um, a guy that we went to high school with, Brett.
Bart the Dart Yoder. Go ahead, Brett. You're live on air.
You're live on
Why
air.
don't
You
you
got
give-
anything you want to say?
Give the folks a snippet of what Brett does.
What? What? Nice. Love you, man.
And that's completely unbiased opinion, too. That's completely unbiased.
Brett is, to our 20 viewers that probably know us intimately and know Brett, I'll explain to you that Brett is not just the guy we went to high school with. Brett is one of our best friends in the entire world. And he's driving somewhere furiously right now, probably the golf course.
100% the golf course. That sounds about right. Where are you driving to, Brett?
Here is a guy
right.
that dresses. Here's a guy who's successful medical sales, but he drives for the. Do you know the phrase "dress for the job you want, not the job you have"? Clearly, this guy
That's
wants to be a golfer.
Uh-huh. You'd be a failed golfer. If you go back and do it again, you'd be a failed golfer.
All right.
All
See ya.
right.
All right. Let's. I guess let's call it.
Yeah. Hey, it's good to be
22
back.
minutes.
I think we took 2 or 3 weeks off, right? Sorry about that. Had a kid. And then moved before that. So it's been a little bit tumultuous, but now we're going to get back into our routine. And we'll be your regularly scheduled mortgage program.
Yeah, I love it. I love that you had a kid. Time off's great, but we're going to be having kids. We're going to be chasing our kids. We're not going to be sleeping. So we just need to get over it. Like it's not a thing. It's like oh, it rained yesterday, so I didn't do whatever.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Oh God.
Al's the guy that used to make us all. Al is the guy, and I'm going to remind Al that he's this guy. Al's the guy that cut vacations short to go to freaking get a lift in or that extra running before the season started. He's the guy that if we were doing conditioning at practice, he was, you run through the line. Run through. You didn't touch the line. Run through the line. So don't forget, Al. Don't forget that's you, dude.
Yeah.
Next time you wake up at 2 a.m.
The unathletic guy on the sideline saying hard work beats talent, but talent doesn't work hard. The meat stick in the background.
Well, you are that guy, so don't forget. So the next time that Dewey wakes you up 3 times in the night, and it's like, well, it's gonna be a little tougher of a Tuesday. It's like, no, run to the line. You run through the line no matter what.
Always running through the line. Big through the line guy. Can't get comfy. Can't get comfortable. Right? It's like when your alarm goes off and you snooze it. Right? You don't get up and then you sit there and think about, how much you hate yourself for not doing what you were supposed to do, and then it ruins your entire day. You know what I mean? Whereas if you just do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, then your day is as good as you could possibly make it.
The pain and suffering of self-awareness.
It must be nice for the people that don't have it.
It's hauntingly beautiful. Well, you've got different people.
Hauntingly beautiful.
You've got people that have self-awareness, but they don't even. they don't even consider. It's not even an option. The snooze. It's not even an option.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got people that hit the snooze button and they don't even set the alarm, or they hit the snooze button. They don't self-deprecate. And then you've got people that are like stuck in the middle who knows what it takes and knows the horror of how it feels to hit snooze and still like tweeter between the two. So,
Yeah.
and that's
Always
that
striving
is
to be better. Always
that's a
striving to be better.
that's a horrifying place to be. That is the place where the comment, like, when you on your deathbed, you're going to be surrounded by all of your unactualized dreams, and they're going to be like, you had a chance to bring us to life and you didn't. You knew about us and you didn't bring us to life. That's the middle between those two people, in my
God.
opinion.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that, and that's a horrifying thought. So really makes you want to go out there and I don't know, seize the day, right? Seize the carp,
Seize
as
the
they
carp.
say.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, well said, Eb. Go out there. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't feel bad for yourself. Just do what you're supposed to do. Set goals and go after them.
Right.
Wake the fuck up.
A lot of doom and gloom in this world today, and I say to that, nay. We're human beings, damn it.
Love that.
The most evolved creatures on the planet. Yeah, things are a
Mm-hmm.
little tough. Our water supply has been poisoned by the government that's supposed to protect us. Our food is hazardous. There's lethal injections being, forced down people's throats. Doesn't matter. Get over it. Let's make it happen.
Get over it. It's the greatest time to be alive, right? Right now, it's the greatest time to be alive because that's when you're living is right now. That's why it's the greatest time to be alive. And everybody throughout history probably thought that, except for maybe the folks in the Middle Ages. I don't think they thought that. But
The Dark Ages,
the Dark Ages, yeah, it's a tough time.
they probably still
Everything's not
thought
like
it.
poop.
They were probably aware. Yeah, the gutters full of poop and the famine.
Just
Probably
poop
why.
everywhere, disease, people with just black spots from the plague everywhere, just dead. It's gotta be a rough time to be alive.
Could you imagine going back to that time and complaining to them about Chat GPT being too smart?
Mm-hmm. Or the fact that your Starbucks coffee wasn't ready when you got there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I ordered it ahead of time, and can you believe it? They didn't make it.
Uh-huh.
And these guys are just
Chat
trying to
GPT
survive. Hello,
Chat
mister.
GPT yeah,
All hunched over and stuff.
covered
Yeah.
in like welts.
Yeah.
Chat GPT 4.0 is freaking incredible.
Really?
Highly recommend paying the like $27 a year to have it. It's freaking amazing. It's a great tool. It's better than any piece of the internet ever for searching stuff. It's better than it blows it all away. I typed in a question. I typed in how many permits to develop land are currently open in Martin County, and it sent me to the website. And then I was like, can you tell me which builders are pulling most permits right now? And it said, I can't get that information, but here is the email address of the department with the county that can get you that information, and here's the email you should send them.
Wow.
Insane. And it was like searching 5 websites at once, like, to gather this information.
That's insane. That is absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Let me get
It's
let me
great.
get that login.
All right. It's incredible.
Yeah.
But all right, we're coming up on our 30-minute mark. We spent some time rambling. Spent some time being good.
Rambling and gambling. But I think we had a good it's a good trip back. So we're
You
back.
got 20
baby,
seconds,
we're
Al.
back.
20 seconds. Go. 20 seconds. Wrap it up.
Rates aren't where we want them, but everything else is looking great. Things are going to be really good. You just got to hang in there a little bit longer. If you could buy now.
And show.